Hello guys, it's Irfan and I've got 6 of these iMac computers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is the 6th one I'm working on here. I got them from Diane from the book club in Manhattan, along with a whole bunch of other stuff, 2 PCs and a whole box full of computer peripherals. Thank you very much for your kindness and generosity, Diane. What I'm doing is I'm putting Windows 10 on all of these iMac computers, and in this video I'm going to show you the procedure to install Windows 10 on your iMac in case you bought an Apple iMac and you wanted to put Windows on it. Okay, so this is the procedure. Now, to install Windows on your iMac, you have to verify that you could actually do that on that particular model of iMac that you have. Now here's how you determine that. You go to the top left of your screen where you see the Apple icon, the Apple logo. Click on that, and where it says about this Mac, you click on that. It'll give you this dialog box. Once it gives you this dialog box, the information that you need is Overview, Mac Operating System Catalina, version 10.15.7. Then it gives you the iMac, what it is, late 2013. Okay, processor is 2.7 gigahertz quad core Intel Core i5. Intel. Your iMac has to have an Intel processor, or else you won't be able to do it. All the other information we don't really care about. It's just this here, late 2013 and Intel. Once we see that, we know we can go ahead and do the procedure of installing Windows 10. Now I'll just show you the other things here. Display, it gives you that. Storage, it's a 1 terabyte SATA disk, and we've got 979 gigabytes available because it's a fresh installation, there's nothing on it. Memory, we've got 8 gigabytes of memory. Support and service we don't care about. Alright, so I'm going to close this out. The next step is we go down to Safari. We open up Safari, which is the browser for Apple, and on the screen here you see install Windows 10 on your Mac with Boot Camp Assistant. Okay, now that's from the Apple support website. I'll click on it up here, and there you see the website. I'm going to put that in the link below for you. You'll need to read this here to determine if the iMac you have qualifies to put Windows 10 on it. It says what you need to install Windows 10 on Mac. For this particular model, it's an iMac. Down here it says iMac, introduced in 2012 through 2020, and ours, when we went to the about this Mac, it's a late 2013, so we're in that bracket. Okay, you'll have to check and see whatever else model you're using and whatever else kind of Mac you're using. The other thing we need to do, let me just give you a close-up of that. here it says iMac introduced in 2012 through 2020. The other thing you'll need to know about your Mac is, we'll scroll down, let me scroll down here. Of course it says 64 gigabyte or more free storage space on your Mac startup disk. We got 1 terabyte. And it says an external USB flash drive, which we already plugged in to the back, with a storage capacity of 16 gigabyte or more. You could read all of that for yourself. Now here's the other important step. Download a Windows 10 disk image from Microsoft. I'm going to go there, I'm going to click on that. It'll take me to the Microsoft website, and from there we'll get the Windows 10 data. Alright, so when I click on that, brings us to the Windows website. Now on this website, now here's the Windows 10 website. Download Windows 10 disk image ISO file. Now I'm going to scroll down here. I'll give you a close-up in a little bit. And it says Windows 10 2023 update version 22H2 select edition. Let me give you a close-up of what we're going to do here, because that's what you're going to be doing if you want to do your installation. Okay, that's what we're interested in. Now it says select edition. When I click on that, it says Windows 10 multi-edition ISO. We're going to go to that. It's a drop-down menu. Go to that. Click on that. So we've selected Windows 10 multi-edition ISO. We're going to hit confirm. Now it says validating your request. Select product language. Now when we click on that, it gives us a whole list of languages. Whatever language you want to install on your new Windows 10, that's the language you select. For us, we're going to select English, so we're going to scroll down. We're going to select English, United States. Whatever language you choose, you could just scroll down and get that language. Click on English United States. Gives us it English United States. We're going to hit confirm. Now it's validated another request. Now here brings us up to downloads. Choose a link below to begin the download, and it gives us Windows 10 English, right, because we selected English. 32-bit and 64-bit. We've got a 64-bit operating system here on this unit. So we're going to select 64-bit download. What I'm going to do is download that. Is going to go to the downloads folder of this computer. After I've finished installing Windows 10, I'm going to go back and download the 32-bit and save that as well. Click on download, and it says, do you want to allow downloads on www.microsoft.com? We said allow. We're going to click allow over here. Now it's going into the downloads folder. If I escape out of here, go back to the main screen, down here on my taskbar where we have downloads, if I click on downloads, you'll see Windows 10 64-bit being downloaded. Now up here of the browser, there is the download, show downloads. If I click on that, it shows you the progress of the file being downloaded. It's gonna be a few minutes. Then we'll go to the next step. Well, just to save time, while it's downloading the 64-bit, I went ahead and started downloading the 32-bit. Because it's good to do that and keep them. You could always share it with a friend or use it on any other computer that you have. It's for free. You might as well go ahead and get it now. Now one download is finished, which is the one here, 64-bit, that's finished. The other one is still in progress. Now we have the Windows 10 downloaded and it's in the downloads folder. If I click on downloads down here, showing Finder, we see it up here. Okay, both of them. Now in order to proceed with the installation, we'll minimize this here. We don't need this anymore. We'll go up here to Go. On the top of the taskbar up here, we go to Go. When I click on Go, between View and Window, it gives me this drop down menu. I gotta go to either Applications or Utilities. Either one you could get it from. Let's go to Utilities. Click on Utilities. Now it gives me this dialog box here. See the corner here? It says Boot Camp Assistant. I'm going to click on Boot Camp Assistant and open that up. Double click on it. Now here's the introduction that it gives you. Boot Camp Assistant helps install Microsoft Windows on an Intel-based Mac by downloading the necessary support software, creating a partition on your disk for Windows, and then starting the Windows installer. Please click the Open Boot Camp Help button for instructions to finish installing Windows and the support software you downloaded. Important. Back up your disk before partitioning it or installing Windows. If you have a portable computer, make sure that power adapter is connected. Well, this is a brand new installation, right? Everything was wiped clean when I got this from Diane, so I don't have to back up anything. Now we go down, Open Boot Camp Help, Continue. We're going to go to Continue. Now here's what it says. Boot Camp Assistant will help you perform one or more of the following tasks. Select all of the tasks you need to perform. Create a Windows 10 or later install disk. You need a USB flash drive and a Windows 10 or later version ISO image downloaded from Microsoft. Now I've got the USB flash drive here. This is a 32 gig. You need a minimum of 16 gig USB flash drive. When I did the 2007 model, it only needed an 8 gig, so I used this here, 8 gig with this adapter. That's what I did it. But now this is a later model and it requires a minimum of 16, so I got a 32 gig here. I'm going to use this, and it has to be FAT32. It cannot be NTFS. Then download the latest Windows support software from Apple. Later on, I guess we'll do that. Install Windows 10 or later version. Then go back and continue. Now create a Windows 10 or later install disk. We're gonna have to create that disk. So let's go to Continue. Alright, it says here no USB drive. There is no USB drive connected to the system. Please connect a USB drive to continue. So I'm going to connect this here now at the back where those USB ports. And you could see once I connected it, over here in the top corner it appears USB disk. to show that something is connected. I'm going to click OK there. And here we have this dialog box. Now in this dialog box, Boot Camp Assistant, select tasks. The one that's checked off here, download the latest Windows support software from Apple. And then first one, create a Windows 10 or later install disk. Then the second one, download that. Third one, install Windows 10 or later version. Now the support on this one that's checked, the support software, right? It's what, you know, it's like the program that allows you to install the Windows 10. So we'll leave that one checked and we'll go to continue. And it says the Windows support software will be downloaded and saved to an external disk. That's the external disk that we plugged in at the back. So we'll hit continue. Now it's downloading Windows support software. That's like the brains of the installation process. Once it finishes that, then we could go to the next step. And it tells you saving Windows support software, Boot Camp Windows support software version 6136. That takes about 10 minutes to complete. Now it's copying the Windows files under task status from Boot Camp Assistant. It's copying it from the downloads folder to the USB flash drive. Boot Camp Assistant, task status, saving Windows support software, Boot Camp Windows support software version 6136. Got another few minutes to go there. Alright, now we're up to the part where we get to do the actual installation of the Windows. In this dialog box, create, that's Boot Camp Assistant, okay? Create a partition for Windows. Each operating system requires its own partition on the disk. Drag the divider to set the size of the partitions, or click the Divide Equally button. APFS container disk 1 will be partitioned as, right now it's got Mac operating system 959 gigabytes and 911 gigabytes free. And then on the right hand side, Windows is got 40 gigabytes. Now I'll do divide equally first so you see what happens. Hit divide equally. Now it automatically shifts in this fashion, 499 gigabytes for the Mac operating system and 500 gigabytes for the Windows. But seeing that I'm going to send these computers away to the Philippines, they're not familiar with the Mac operating system. They're more familiar with Windows. So I'm going to give more disk space to Windows and less to the Mac, because they're probably hardly ever going to use Mac. So I put the mouse on the middle here where it's got the little dot, and I could go either way. I could go more for Mac, less for Windows, or I could go more for Windows, less for Mac. And I decide how much I'm going to give to Mac, how much I'm going to give to Windows. Now this is a 1 terabyte hard drive. So I'm probably going to give 250. I'm going to give 250 gigabytes to the Mac, which leaves 200 gigabytes free. And for the new installation, the Windows, I'm going to give 749 gigabytes, right? Because they're probably hardly ever going to use the Mac. Once I finish this installation and it boots up, every time it boots up, it's going to boot up automatically in Windows. Alright, so I'll leave it as 250 in the Mac and 749, which is already 750 for the Windows, which is going to be the new operating system. And down here I'll go to install. Once I click install, it's going to start doing its thing. Now it wants me to put in the password again. Hit OK. partition and disk. The system may be unresponsive. Now, while all of this is going on, you can't be doing anything else. Okay, this is a dedicated procedure that you have to do. Okay, now it's asking me for the password again. Boot Camp Assistant is trying to unlock the startup disk preferences. Boot Camp Assistant wants to make changes. I have to give it a password again. You're going to have to go through all of these steps, alright? Now it should boot up again with the Windows logo and start the installation of Windows 10 on this iMac computer. There you go. And from here it's a regular Windows installation, like if you had a regular Windows PC and you were doing a Windows 10 installation, or if you had an older version of a Windows PC, you're doing XP or Windows 7 or Vista, whatever it is. It takes the same procedure from this point on, and it's going to be a long process. Shows you setup is starting. Now we're into the Windows system. Here's what it gives you at the bottom of the taskbar. 1. Collecting information. 2. Installing Windows. Windows setup. Windows. Language to install English, because we selected English when we downloaded the ISO. If I click on that, you'll see it does nothing. It gives English only because we selected English when we got it from Windows. Time and currency format, English, United States. It gives you a whole bunch of stuff. We're going to leave it at that. Keyboard or input method, US. Gives you a whole bunch of stuff as well. We'll leave it as US. Enter your language and other preferences and click next to continue. So we click next. Alright, activate Windows. Now it's looking for the key code. I'm going to put that in now. Alright, pay attention now. I'm only going to do this once. Okay. So I'll hit next after I had put that in. Hope you paid attention. Now brings me up to that. Select the operating system you want to install, Windows 10 Pro 64-bit. That's what we got. Now we can hit next. Well, we gotta accept or else we can't do anything. You know the usual. Next. Okay. Now we see what it gives us here. Where do you want to install Windows? It's all going to be drive 0, partition 1, 200 megabytes. That's like a system reserved. Partition 2, 232 gigabytes, which was the Mac operating system primary. This one here, it automatically comes up with drive 0, partition 3, boot camp. Boot camp is what it names the partition for Windows 10, and that's 698 gigabytes. It was actually 700, I think, right? Or 750, something like that. We're going to leave it at that, and we'll hit next. Now it goes through the installation process that you're normally accustomed to for Windows, which is copying Windows files, getting files ready for installation, installing features, installing updates, finishing up, right? So from here it's a regular Windows installation, and that's going to take a while. You'll see the exact same thing happening as if you were doing Windows installation on a regular Windows PC. Now it's going to go through the usual setup routine. Let's start with region. Is this right? United States? Yeah. We'll click on yes. Is this the right keyboard layout? US? Yes. Want to add a second keyboard layout? No, we don't want to do that. Let's connect you to a network. We don't have an Ethernet connection right now. So I'll go on the bottom here. I don't have internet. Well, we don't have the internet as yet, so I'm going to go to continue with limited setup. The other option is connect now. I don't have any Ethernet connection. Who's going to use this PC? What name do you want to use? You put in all your information. Click next. Create a super memorable password. Well, my passwords are always going to be the same. Click next. Confirm. Okay. Security question. Now here's something I got to tell you about these security questions. They give you 3 security questions, alright? What was your first pet's name? What's the name of the city where you were born? What was your childhood nickname? What's the name of the city where your parents met? What's the first name of your oldest cousin? What's the name of your first school you attended? What's the name of the first school you attended? Now here's what I found out about all of these security questions. 3 of them you have to do. You could give them the same answer for each question. That way you don't have to rack your brains to remember anything. Unless you want high security, then you could choose a different answer for each one of these, whichever ones you select. I just picked the first one, second one, third one, and I give it the same answer. That way it's no hassle for me to remember a whole bunch of different things. So let's start with what's your pet's name and your answer. I put that in there. And I use the same passwords all around. Next. Now security question 2. I'll pick the next one down. First one we did, that's gone already because it leaves you with these remaining ones. What's the name of the city you were born? I'll give it the same answer. It doesn't know. Click next. And security question 3. Now you see it's got less here now because we used up 2. Now what was your childhood nickname? I'll pick anything, it doesn't matter. I'll give them the same answer for every one of them. And it's going to go through the remaining setup. I find that's easiest for me. Now all of these things here, I'm gonna say no to everything. And then accept. Let Cortana help you get things done. I'll accept this because it might be helpful to them. You got learn more, not now, and accept. I'll just do accept. Hi, how are you? Now that's going to take another while to finish. Leave everything to us. Last will and testament. Now we're up to this part here. Welcome to the Bootcamp installer. You will be guided through the steps necessary to install Bootcamp. To get started, click next. You want to do this, okay? You want to install Bootcamp on your Windows PC because you might need it later on to do stuff. And it's best to do it now and get it over with. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish up this installation here. Click next. I have to accept and install. Okay. Well, that took a good 10 minutes or so. Boot camp installer completed. Boot camp has been successfully installed on your computer. Click finish to exit installer. So we'll click finish. And it says you must restart. Alright, so we'll say yes, and we're going to restart the computer. Okay, so now we have Windows 10 on an Apple iMac computer. Go ahead and start it up and let's see what we got. Put in my password. Now we're booting up into the Windows 10 partition of the hard drive on the Apple iMac computer. And here we have the main screen. That's your Windows 10, just like a regular Windows 10 PC. Do whatever you want with it that you normally do on the Windows PC. Alrighty. Okay guys, so here is your Windows 10 installation complete. You got your regular icons, regular taskbar at the bottom here. Everything else is regular Windows. So I'm done here. Okay, now it's shut down. Alright, you can see that. If I want to restart this computer and use the original Apple operating system, what I have to do is, when I hit the power button at the back here, while it's restarting, I have to hold down this option button on the keyboard. This one that says option, I'm going to have to hold this one down while I hit the power button, and that'll give me the choice to go into either operating system. So I'm going to do that now. I'll hit the power button and then I'll hold down that options key. Power button hit, I'm holding down the option key. Now as it boots up, there, you see what happens? It gives you the choice: Macintosh HD with the arrow, Windows. Alright, so you could go back and forth with your keyboard, right, left and right, go back and forth and decide which one you want. And if you wanted to boot up in the Macintosh, you'll put the mouse on that, put the cursor on that and click on that. If you want to boot up in Windows, you put the cursor on that and you'll boot up in that. Alright, so let's go over. It already automatically boots up in Windows every time, but we want to use this one now. If you put the mouse on that there, it wouldn't do anything. You have to go on the arrow. Put the mouse on the arrow, click on that, and you see the Apple symbol. It's booting up in the Apple part of the iMac computer, which is the original. Alright, so from here on you know it. I've printed up some of the keyboard conversions for PC and Mac. Now it says here the ALT on Windows is the option on the Macintosh. So the option button here, which is what you would hold down when powering up to get it to give you the option to boot in either Windows or Mac. So what I'm going to do, I got a Windows Logitech keyboard hooked up here. I'm going to hold down the Alt button while powering it up and see if that works. Power it up now. Hold down the Alt button and let's see if it gives me that option with the non-Apple keyboard. Yep, it does. So I'm going to power it up in Windows, and I printed out all of these keyboard shortcuts here. Oh, I had to do it on the arrow. There. See everything they'll need, because I'm gonna send them the Windows keyboard. I got all of these here. Okay, I plugged in the same USB that we used before. Win install, recognize it up there. Now I'm going to try and save these to the USB. Let me see how I could do that. I'm not familiar with. Let me just try that. If I click on that, right click, let me see if I do copy. Now I open up this here, and that's everything there, and I do paste item. Let's see if it does it. Yes, it's doing it. So I'm saving that Windows 10 32-bit ISO onto a USB flash drive. You could use any USB flash drive. I just wanted to use this one again because I had it. And when it's done, you could save the 64-bit ISO as well. That way you have them to use for any other computer in future. Alright? It's a good way to get it without any hassles, any problems. So what I did on this USB flash drive, which had all of the original boot camp stuff, I made a folder called Windows, and I put the two ISO files here, the 32-bit, 64-bit, and the website. Alright, so there you have it. An easy way, step-by-step procedure to install Windows 10 on your iMac. Thank you very much, guys. Bye now.